Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Building a Nation with Polonia Warszawa. The heat is a bit less than yesterday, which is good, because I didn't want Judgment Day to be even hotter than it needed to be, although I kind of feel like City really passed the judgment in the previous episode. Today, we're just trying to play for pride. However, I have done some analysis of the match and look at some of the more technical stuff, and I think I figured out why we were so bad, and well, other than the just pure nonsense, we didn't create much ourselves, and I think we can at least do better than that today. Anyway, today we're starting on the page of Sebastian Zavjagrai. Started with the club, well, sort of. I brought him in the first season. 34 years old now. Let's have a look at his career. If there's any of these players you want to see from previous parts of the save, do let me know and I will show them. So, yeah, was here for us with us for a little bit. Didn't really play that well for us once we actually got to the top flight. Had one decent season. Eventually went to Wisła for £91,000, but he's kind of been just battling around the leagues. He is back in the top flight again now with Skra, but isn't actually playing as they are really, really struggling, as they often do when they get to the top flight. Right, some off-camera games, and then Manchester City. God help us. So first up, it was Zag. A 3-2 victory. Fair enough, except their goalkeeper scored 2 own goals and got 6.8 because FM. Then it was a comfortable 3-0 victory over Arca, Treveria, Orozco and Lisic, giving us the victory. Things then took a slight turn for the worse, though, away at Pogon. I say slight, a big one. Albarracin went off injured after 25 minutes. Rosa then came on and replaced him and went off injured 24 minutes later. So Veras is going to have to play against Manchester City today, because we needed that. And lastly, comfortable 1-0 victory over Skra. Good stuff. All of that leaves the league looking like this. 19 points clear at the top. The battle for Champions League, though, is hotting up with Lechia and Legia. Good lord. Ed and Eddie all battling it out for 2, remember, Champions League spots. Zag and Corona, the other sort of best of the rest, both look like they could get into the Europa League this year. Katowice are certainly battling their way back up the league a little bit, but they're still 5 points off the championship group, which doesn't look great for them with 7 games to go. Zwigawa, top scorer in the division now with 13. Really, really pleased for him for that. Now, Szczesny's made Wisła Krakow even worse. They do have the most injuries in the league, but they do seem to have got actually worse since he's joined. I think they've lost every game he's been in charge of. So, top work, I guess? Right, it's time now for City. So, yeah, I'll explain the things I found. So, essentially, our best opportunities came with wide play, and we weren't getting the ball out wide fast enough because we were playing too much for short passing game and not looking for these balls into the channel. That seems to be the main area of our attack that was bad. The main problem we had defensively, other than just pure nonsense, was the fact that once we took off Prado, there was no screen, and City were getting so good in the central areas at crossing. I might make a separate video about this. I'll record it afterwards and talk about the exact stuff so you can see why I came to these conclusions. I'll make some proper changes once we get into the actual match itself, but we're going to play this approach. And yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, let's just sort the squad out. So, oh, this is going to require a bit of sorting out. 1 second. Okay, it's a bit more like it. Pereira, Lisic, Treverio, Fapossi, Gorosito, Prado, Chabal, Falvella, Freitas, Veras, unfortunately, and Iglesias. On the bench, we don't want Piscuda. We don't need him. But due to injuries, that might well have to be the bench. Wait, no, the Lama can come in there too. So we're going to go with Edelberg, Olivier, Orozco, Vicente, Lamas, Waterberg, and Fininho. Right. Looking at City, they're basically playing the same approach as before, I think, except... Oh, no, they switched these 2 over. Okay, so we'll move those 2 around. That's fine, that's fine. I did actually think about maybe starting Fininho, but... Because that's generally... Our best play was coming from crosses, and Fininho is generally better in the air than Pereira, just because he's got the height. But I don't know. I just want to see something better than the last game, to be honest. But, right, so the changes. Wide play, focusing down these areas. Going to go passing more mixed or standard, and we're going to up the tempo a little bit, I think. Yeah, we will. As for transition play, we're going to distribute quickly to keep up with the tempo of the play. And no, we're going to leave that as it is, because I find that if I set it to just the fullbacks, he will lump it too much. Yeah, it's probably going to be it. We were targeted quite a lot with Chabal, but I don't think there's much we could do about that. Not with the home match anyway. We need to push forward. I'd almost be tempted to put Fapossi into an attacking role instead, in fact. Just to really push on here. Maybe make Chabal more of a supporting role. That way we balance it out a bit more. I don't know. Our record against City is actually very poor. We've only beaten them once in this entire save, and that was that 1-0 in the group stages like 5 or 6 seasons ago. So it's been a while. I just want to see something better than we showed in the last episode, to be honest. Lots of possession so far, which is a nice bonus, but we need a bit more than that. Veras is, I think, one of our weak links. He and Prado are going to be... Oh, too wide for Pereira. Too deep for him, rather. Pereira, ball back across. Flicked away. Chabal will pick this up. He's going to be crossing from slightly deeper this time, Chabal, so maybe that will allow a bit more defensive stability for us. Lisic blocked. Gorosito over the crossbar. Shots are happening. Honestly, I was tempted to maybe start this game on attacking, but I feel like that's more of a... We'll switch to that if things aren't quite going our way later in this match. Gorosito, but so far has been really good, actually. Oh, dear. Into the channel again. Chabal's got to get back and cover here. He's not. Wow, I don't know what happened there. Lisic's got the ball, and now we're in behind. We've got men surging in there. Oh, that's a dreadful pass for Fapossi, but can he whip it across for someone? He can. Lisic, and oh, hello. Yes! Okay, we've got a penalty. We have a penalty. Lisik, this would be a very good start for us, really. Go on, Blaze. Don't miss this. Yes! Bottom corner. Blaze Lisik, 1-0 to Polonia after 11 minutes. We've been the better side so far. It's been all us, but this is very much on the ropes. Lisik has really been causing the issues so far. First shot on target of the game, admittedly, but we do have the lead. Something to clutch. Still not been excellent from us so far, in all honesty. Good save in the end from... City have actually had the same number of shots on target as us now. I do wonder if the lack of overlapping fullbacks is causing us issues here. But it's certainly making us more defensively stable, I'd say. For Posse. Chabal. Pereira. Garacito. Oh. Treverio! Oh, he's hit the post. How unlucky can we get? He hit the post in the first leg too, didn't he? If we can get to half-time at 1-0, I can assess what we need to do. Lisik's ball. Headed down. Prado. Oh, use the wide men. Somebody. There we go. Lisik. With space as well. For Posse! Yes! On the rebound, Pereira makes it 2-0 before half-time. That is brilliant. Got very fortunate there, I would say, with the way that ricocheted off the post. Prado does really well to keep hold of that ball. I must say, Lisik again, getting it out wide, getting a ball across for Posse with a great header. Actually, I know. Yeah, it was fortunate. Hits the post and then the goalkeeper and then comes back to Pereira for 2-0. Come on. We've got to be better than this, though. We're still... not looking... We're actually looking quite solid defensively in places, but we need another goal, and that I just don't know if we look like we've got it in us right now. Right on the stroke of half-time, maybe. Veras. Treverio, got another one of his benders. Oh, and tipped over the bar by Gabba. We've been the better team, particularly towards the end of this first half, and we've got 2 goals to show for it. Okay, what do we do now? We're looking much, much better than them, but there's still work to be done. My system wants to play it shorter, and I just don't know if that's the right idea. Maybe, now that we've got a 2-0 lead, we can be a bit more sensible about this. I might also be tempted to move Chabal back to an attacking fullback, but I don't want to give us too much. It's a real fine line we're treading right now. We're in such a difficult spot right now because 2-0 is a very good result on the night, and it's what I wanted, but that crap in the first leg has really messed us up. Thing is, even if we were to grab a third goal, that still wouldn't be enough, really. We'd need another one. It would just take it to extra time, potentially, for Posse. He's lost the ball. Oh, no. Goni. Watch out. Favela, no! Oh, God. I can feel the goal coming. And Iglesias makes the big save. City have created not a lot of actual chances. I still think we're playing the better football right now, but we're just not having as many shots as I would like. I want to see Chabal creating a bit more for us. Minarinia. Somebody go and block him. What a stop from Iglesias. That was a chance for them. That really was a good opportunity and well saved. Pereira will pick it up. It's really not the person you want in that role. Oh, God. Dangerous ball. I don't want to lose the ball here because we've got... everybody's all over the shop. Veras. Get the ball out. Oh, dear. Oh, no. Here it comes. Goni. Look at the space through the middle. The defenders are not organised at all at the moment. Marinia. And this is going to be... not round the corner for Fofana. And what a block in the end. But suddenly we've got way worse in the second half. I'm switching back, and I'm also going to pass into space, because we've just been much, much worse in this second period. Passing short has really... like, my assistant knows nothing, and I think I might have just screwed us there by not following my own instincts. Some subs in a minute. But we've got to be careful, because if we were to score, extra time would be incoming, and it's over the bar! I think we kind of have to go attacking now. 20 minutes on attacking, try and find that goal. But the thing is, we're always going to be on the edge of them scoring a goal too, and that's the problem. We've just not looked anywhere near as good in this second period. I think those changes I made certainly didn't help us, that is for sure. If anything, they've come back into this match in the second half. Even though we switched back to what we were doing, it just doesn't seem to be working anymore. Vicente, Edelberg. Spreading that play wide just hasn't really worked in the second half. Edelberg, this is going to be a long-range strike from Prado, isn't it? Saved by Gabba. Oh my goodness. Or don't. Lisik. Veras need a good cross. Lisik can dig one out, maybe. Edelberg, yes! It's 3-3! Oh my god, Paul Edelberg with the... right, before we do anything else, back to positive. I can't believe we've equalised on the night. Not the night, on the tie. It's 3-3. Even if we somehow went out... actually, that would make it even worse. Don't say that, Matt. Veras, lovely little ball into the channel for Lisik. Whips one across, and there is Paul Edelberg. That added height I think he has over for Posse made the difference there, and it is 3-3. Come on. Gabba looking long again. Prado brings it out the air. Few seconds to go. Gorosito, Edelberg, and that is extra time. Oh my giddy freaking aunt. Okay. Oh god. They're getting a lot of the ball on the right, and they're still getting the ball in behind occasionally. I'm going to get Pereira off, because Firmino is so good at this sort of stuff, and Pereira is just looking knackered. Okay then. City do look more worse for wear than we are, but I don't know. The fact that we've even managed to pull this back to go 3-3 is crazy, by the way. Buenaventura. Oh, God, I thought he was going to foul him there. Bonaventura, Marino. They've got a lot of players forward. If we were to win the ball off them here, like this, they're in trouble. Edelberg, look at the space out wide. He's got Lisek. We've got men flying in there. He's got to find one of them. He finds Vicente. Yes! Come on! Vicente makes it 4-0. Holy shit on a cracker. That's not an expression. Don't use that, kids. City played themselves. Congratulations, you've played yourselves. Lisek again, brilliant. Whips it across the box. Vicente just goes, you know what? Thump. And Gabba, that is a dreadful piece of goalkeeping. We are 4-0 up. Come on. What do now? Problem. Genuinely. Gabba long ball. Oh, God, that's a really good ball. Oh, no, they've broken the back line for Fana. Oh, Gorosito does brilliantly. Looking at the channel. Please, Edelberg's through. Go on, let's keep going. We've got men across. Finds one of them. Lisek's in. Can he score? No, he can't. Gabba with the big save. What a period of extra time this has been so far. We are somehow, at the moment, on the verge of going through. Lisek. Yes! It's 5! I don't believe it. Alberto Freitas makes it 5-0 to Polonia Warszawa over Manchester City. We still cannot speak too soon. By the way, Blaise Lisek, I think, has got 3 or maybe even 4. Oh my God, the goalkeeper has really been the one to screw City here. Flappy Bird returns. Right, this might be the greatest comeback I've ever had on FM. Up there with the PSV Red Star one. Holy shit. Or Lisek, maybe. And he's found him. Lisek's through. Can he finish? What a save from Gabba that time. That is one massive save for him. That would have completely ruined them. By the way, can I point out how Milan have also turned around a huge deficit against Manchester United and are 6-5 up on aggregate in their game? We make the right blocks in the right places and get the right tackles like that one. Here we go again. Gorosito on his last legs here, surely. It's Edelberg. Men surging forward. He's found Firmino again. And Gabba makes another incredible save. We look more likely to get a 6th goal than they look likely to get the first goal. But again, we cannot speak too soon. Lisek's ball in again. Goni clears. Falvella knocked away. Firmino, he's through. Pulls it back and nobody's there. And Chabal. This is what makes me love this game sometimes. The fact that you have the ability that things like this can actually happen is truly amazing. Foulon, ball, and it's out for a corner, and surely now we are going through to the... It's only going to be the quarterfinals. What a tie this has been. Fofana whips one across. Oh, God. Foulon, make your tackles block. Go on, roll a block. Come on. It's 5-0. We've won 5-3 on aggregate. Yes! That is mental. Truly amazing. And Milan turning their one around against Manchester United as well. Winning it in extra time as well with Del Valle's goal. Holy Christ. Come on. Oh, I'm so sweaty right now. You have no idea. Right. We're back. I've decided to do something a little bit different. Basically, that took a long time to do because of the extra time and whatnot, and I don't want to have to cut out too much of it because of how amazing that last game actually was. So, instead, we're going to do the tactical analysis bit that I was talking about in this video instead of the Corona game because I feel like this is more important and more interesting. And because we've actually now got both matches, we can use the comparison tool and take a look at stuff properly, and I can really show you, hopefully anyway, the differences that I made and what effect they actually had on the team during those matches. And I think that's going to be quite interesting. This is the kind of stuff I want to do with Huesca, and that's why I think that it would be kind of an interesting thing for a one-season challenge, basically, to do that, where we really do get into the nitty-gritty of FM. So let's have a look at this, shall we? So the first thing I have in my notes is that the key passes. So we're going to take a look at the key passes and highlight and just sort of see. So the first thing you'll note is that Manchester City, traditionally speaking, a lot of their key passes were being played into this channel, which is targeting Chabal, basically. You'll notice in the second match, which is this one, it just wasn't happening. If anything, they were actually going onto the other side to where Thiago Veras which would make sense because he's obviously the more inexperienced player. But you could see that we pretty much eliminated the threat of Chabal being exposed in that game by playing him at first anyway as that sort of slightly deeper player, I think. And I really do think that's made a bit of a difference in this match, to be fair, because it really just seems to eliminate the threat of all these balls going into that channel. So that's one thing. Second thing is when you take a look at us, this was us in the away match, the first match we played where we struggled. You can see most of our key passes were being spread sort of into these channels, into the wide areas, into these sort of zones. Now, that was because, for the most part, we were playing nothing through the middle. So I thought, right, well, let's try and exacerbate that a little bit. So what we did in the second leg, as you can see, is we focused down those wings. And you can see now that it's a similar sort of story, but it's more of the same, basically. The passes are just better. We're closer to their area. They're much more... they're exposing their weaknesses slightly more. So that's why we did that. Now let's have a look at the shots. I'm going to ignore blocked shots for this because it just doesn't seem that important. So we're going to start with City. So you can see in the first leg, City, traditionally, very, very good stuff. Loads of close-range stuff towards the centre of the pitch for the most part anyway. They just had more shots as well. In the second leg, however, we sort of limited them. They still had a few chances, as you can tell, but it was nowhere near as bad as it was in this one. It's still quite central, but still, to be fair, we didn't actually do a great deal here. We just defended slightly better. They just had less shots, to be honest, and I think Prado was the main reason for that. But the real difference you can see is with ours. Like, most of ours before were players cutting inside. There's a few free kicks, but look, we're getting much, much better possession. And I think that was because we were getting into better positions, because we were playing the ball faster. We were able to get through them a little bit faster. We weren't dilly-dallying on the ball. We were able to get into really tight areas. And as you can see, like, it's a much more heavy cluster of shots, basically. This stuff isn't that telling, but it's still useful to know, and you can see the difference. So one thing I noticed as well was in the first leg, a lot of the interceptions City were making were across this midfield stripe, so to speak. And when we were trying to play the ball in that area, we were losing the ball way too frequently. In the second leg, you'll notice there's way less interceptions in this area. They obviously won the ball on the wings more because we were playing the ball on the wings more, but it's still nowhere near as many interceptions in general. And they still had a few on the edge of their area, which is fine, and a few a little bit deeper. But I do think that we eliminated them getting interceptions there because we just weren't playing the ball there. But it, I found, just made us better in general. And from our perspective, we were just making more interceptions in general, like further away from our goal, which means that we weren't having to make last-ditch tackles quite as much. Whereas in the first game, we were winning the ball higher up the pitch with interceptions and cutting out passing lanes. But I think this is more telling in a way. So, heat map. They had a lot of the ball at the back, and they kept it right in front of our back line. You can see that there was still a little bit of that, but they were nowhere near as spread out. They weren't able to get their wingers as far forward, these little bumps here, to create this sort of barrage here, because we were able to have a block in there. They were sort of left stagnant in these sort of positions, and also with the ball in the sort of wide and deep areas, because they couldn't really do anything with the ball. Now our one is even more different. Like, it's not dissimilar here, but you can see, because our goalkeeper isn't hanging on to the ball as much, we're getting more possession in these areas, which is still fine, but we're pushing up much higher on this side here. And I think that really did make a difference in this game, because overall we were just further up the pitch in general, and it gave us a higher starting point. And despite having so much possession in that first game, you could see we really did struggle to get the ball in this area, so we thought, well, why not just not bother doing that at all, and instead focus in the areas where we're actually strongest, and not just dwelling with the ball on the back for absolutely zero reason. That's what cost us that goal. Now, I appreciate that some of this stuff isn't interesting to some of you. Some of it might not even be correct. The point is, I'm just working through what I found that then made me make the changes that I made and then got us that result. I mean, I don't know if it's all down to that. It might just be luck as well. But that's why I think it's important to take a look at this sort of stuff, because I think if we'd have gone into that game without doing this, we might well have won just by being slightly better at home and whatnot, but I don't think we'd have been able to turn the tie around in the way that we did. And I think that was down to the actual tactical stuff. And we did change a few things during that game that I shouldn't have done, and that very nearly cost us, to be honest. This has been a very unorthodox episode, I grant you, but I felt like just showing a bit more analysis stuff was a better idea than just showing a meaningless game against Corona, to be honest. And I feel like sometimes this stuff is important, and I want to get more into this sort of stuff when we eventually get around to doing that Huesca save, because that's something I want to try out a bit more, really, because I always like this sort of stuff, and the results are there when you can actually do that. And if I could do that before every game, I do wonder what things could happen if we were actually able to do that and had the time to do that, which I just don't do with this kind of save. But if we did, I do wonder what kind of results could be garnered if you really take the time to analyze this stuff. So that is going to be in the next episode. We've got a double header of games in the Champions League quarterfinals. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Even if we were to go out now, I feel like we've practically, this was more exciting than winning the Champions League for me, in a way. So we've got that too. We'll obviously keep an eye on what Lek do. Maybe they could win one of the legs and get some extra coefficient points too. That'd be very, very nice. So if you've enjoyed this episode, and I really hope you have, because I've really enjoyed it despite the stresses of it, drop a like. That'd be glorious. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see more stuff like this, then do particularly subscribe. That'd be awesome as well. And I'll see you guys in the next episode for, well, a game against somebody. Who knows? I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.